Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. What do I have for my subscribers, for my lions and lionesses on a Friday morning? Let's start with this. The pre-orders exceeded expectation, according to Emperor Lee. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised at all. Putting it into perspective, we were expecting, Emperor Lee were expecting it to outsell the SU7 for the reasons being the Chinese community love their SUVs, it's affordable, it's superior in technology, it's battery swappable, which is the main reason. Never forget that guys, it's the main reason. Why is that the main reason? Because a lot of Chinese people, most Chinese people that live in the cities don't have access to charging. So we knew that this was going to blow everything out of the water. Everything. Now, the reason why the amount of orders that we got exceeded expectation, and they were expecting it to outsell the SU7. The SU7 had like 110,000 pre-orders or something like that, or 100,000 the first day. So that tells me, and we exceeded that. And after I saw the unveiling of the car and what it contains and what it can do, I said I'm expecting 200,000. So let's see if I'm right. Let's see if it exceeds even 200,000 pre-orders already. I was talking to one of my subscribers. We're friends now. We talk on the phone, Neo San Francisco, who's been to China many times. And he said he was in an ET5. He'll try to send me the video of it and condense it because it's a long video, where they went into a battery swap station. He told me he was actually blown away by this ET5 because he's ridden in BMWs and different high-end cars, and it was not even in comparison. He said, you have to experience it. It's like a spaceship sitting inside of this thing. So I'm hoping to get that clip from him when he condenses it, and I will try to showcase it on here. Also, we were doing a little bit of brainstorming, and I want to make a prediction, but he's the one who actually came up with most of this idea, and I absolutely agree with him. You see, in the past, we have showcased a car, but we were late in delivering it, and then the people, you know, they lost interest in it, and other cars came out. So what we believe is going to happen, we went from a company that was exceeding expectations to not exceeding expectations to exceeding expectations once again. So we want to keep true to that culture. And what we believe is going to happen, last year, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we were putting out over 200 swap stations in 1 month. So now that the weather has broken in China and it's warming up, just like here in Pennsylvania, I expect them to be ramping up the amount of swap stations. See, the only reason why we didn't release it right away is because we want to make sure we have enough swap stations. But imagine if we're putting out over 200 swap stations again from May, June, and July. I expect that what we're going to do is we're going to say, you know what, guys, they're going to have a press conference and say we're going to release Onvo in July, possibly in the end of July. Do not be surprised if that happened. Now, that's going to be my prediction. Also, remember I spoke about the whole Robotaxi situation where Tesla shareholders are now are holding on to that as their last hope, because even if Tesla comes out with a $25,000 EV, it still cannot compete with the technology that's within a Xiaomi. And Elon knows that he cannot undercut the Chinese pricing, even though he's building over there, because they did not keep up with innovation. So people are holding on to the whole Robotaxi idea. Elon has failed Tesla shareholders so many times in terms of the Cybertruck and other things. Even with this Model 2, he keeps saying he's going to come out with it and is so late. But by the time Robotaxi comes out, I showed you guys what Baidu is already doing in my video yesterday morning. Just to wake you all up. It's not about bashing. It's to wake you all up. If you have shares in Tesla, understand very carefully what I'm saying. Elon understands that he's done. He's lost the EV competition and the only hope now is Robotaxi. But I've shown that he's even done and he's lost the race with that. And amazingly enough, CNBC did an article on it showing you, even though BYD is way ahead of the game, way ahead, it still has a lot of glitches and it still has a lot of, well, take a look at the clip, guys, and then we'll talk about it.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk hopes to test his robo-taxis in China, but the EV maker is entering a market with some stiff competition, and Eunice Yoon joins us now from Beijing with more. Hey, Eunice.
Hey, Joe. Well, tech giant Baidu has a fleet of 500 robo-taxis already in the city of Wuhan. And this week, the company announced that it plans to expand that to 1,000 fully self-driving robo-taxis by the end of this year. So we went to Wuhan to find out just what the service is like today. I'm at my hotel in Wuhan, and I'm going out to dinner. And I decided that I'm going to take Baidu's self-driving robo-taxi. You need a special app. But not everyone can ride. A notice pops up and warns, no young children, pregnant women, elderly, the infirm, or anyone with a bad heart. I'm in the right part of town to get the service, but the app says that I need to walk about 100 feet to get to the closest station to board the robotaxi. The trip costs about $3, and thanks to steep discounts, that's about the same as a regular taxi. We got one, and it's coming in 15 minutes. So here's the robotaxi, but there's a driver inside. The staffer told us to catch an unmanned cab, we needed to go to another pickup point. Less than half of the taxis still come with safety personnel. We did, and another showed with another assistant. Finally, we got one without a human. Wait, no one is inside except for us. We're on our way, but we're moving kind of slowly, about 30 miles an hour. On China's notoriously chaotic roads, the robotaxi drove up a ramp, made a U-turn, and negotiated its way around bikers riding tandem and a timid driver. In an emergency, you press this for help. So it took us a little bit of time, but we finally got here. The Baidu Robo service is 24/7, and it looks like the car is going to go off for another trip. And what we learned is that this is a real experiment, because from the time that we first called for an unmanned cab, Joe, it took us 4 hours before we actually got the cab. But once we were in it, it actually works.
Right. Right. The 500 operating robo-taxis, which you said at the beginning, I was like, that's amazing. And going to 1,000, it's not quite true. Exactly.
Well, no, it is. I mean, well, there are some that have the driver assistance.
Safety drivers.
But, no, I know. It's a work in progress, as a Baidu executive told me. But I also thought what was interesting is, you know, what happens if you're in there, you have an emergency. So I asked the Baidu executive, you know, what do you do in that kind of situation? And they said that you would have to have like kind of the peace of mind to go onto the app and change the destination. So in case you were going to the office and suddenly you had to go to the hospital, you would have to just change the destination on the app. Or you could do what I did, which is like you call the SOS button, and then an agent comes on and they can remotely stop the car for you. And one thing that she said to reassure us is that they have 360-degree cameras both inside and outside of the car. So they are constantly monitoring you for safety purposes. And in fact, at one point, we opened the door accidentally in the cab, and they told us, please close the door.
Is Elon's technology superior to this right now, you think, Sorkin? What he wants to test, or is it all the same? And it's going to be years till this is really... Go ahead, Una.
No. I was going to just say that, you know, obviously he's not here yet, there is a lot of expectation that Tesla is going to be rolling out robotaxis here and experimenting as well. There was actually some commentary about that in the state press. Just yesterday, there was an article about how Baidu had spoken to some of the local reporters and said that they would be open to the idea of working with Tesla on the robotaxi, on Tesla's robotaxi, but depending on the progress and the rollout of that robotaxi. But Baidu wouldn't comment on that report.
Eunice, from a technological perspective, those vehicles that you were in, they have LiDAR, they have radar, they're using just cameras. This has obviously been one of the big sort of technological questions here in the United States about how, for example, Cruise and Waymo produce their cars and what technology they use in Tesla, which is camera only.
Yeah, so it's obviously not camera only. So my assumption is that it would be LiDAR, just because there are now 6 generations of these cars, and Baidu is working with different car manufacturers, all local, to be able to bring the price down. In fact, this week they announced the 6th generation of their car, and they said that they can now sell it for $28,000 per car, which is less than half of what they were selling the previous generation. So you could see the ways in which Baidu is trying to get ahead and really try to roll this out, obviously here in China, but perhaps internationally.
All right, guys, welcome back. So you see, basically, pregnant women still can't ride in them, and there's a lot of restrictions still, even though BYD is so far ahead of the game, and BYD invests heavily in artificial intelligence. So this is just to give it a little more clarity. I hope this video gives you guys that clarity. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we have that warrior mindset where all I'm doing is trying to wake up the middle class to finally get a piece of the pie. Because I just want to say this. You see, this is the way the game is played, right? They tell you to buy high and they tell you to sell low. They tell you do not buy low. It's cash burning. It is not a good buy. It's a sell. And the reason why they do that is because if everyone is hip to the game, nobody's going to make money. Sadly, this is the way capitalism is set up. So the few of us who wake up and learn how to play the game, only us will make money. Understand this very carefully. I sold one of my ETFs. It's a Chinese ETF that I had, KWEB, and I broke almost even. And I walked away with $3,943. Do you guys know what I'm doing with that money this morning? Put it in the comments if you think you know what I'm doing with that money this morning and why did I sell that. Right now, between my son and I, we have 7,198 shares. So I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.